Akilam Karunam. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Nobody's saying anything.
No, they're all here, but they're very silent. They're all waiting for it all to begin. And let me tell you, I have to confess, as I came on, before this I was quite relaxed, but as I've come onto the stage, my heart is beating really fast. So while Guruji was praying, I was saying to myself, I must be relaxed. This is the time. When I'm with my Guru, I must be relaxed. This is it. So yes, I will calmly begin by thanking you, Sadhguruji, for giving me this opportunity to be in conversation with you. Isha Foundation, thank you very much.
I thought when you're talking about of love and life, heart beating is a good thing.
Yes, it is a good thing. It shows I'm alive and in love and about to begin this conversation. And Sadhguruji, I want to say I have attended your inner engineering program. I have seen some DVDs, I have read your books, and everywhere there are your brilliant views on various issues. It could be from the making of a nation to the making of a toy car, from the running of a household to the running of parliament. You have brilliant views on every issue that one can ever question. Yet I know very little about you. And he has a brilliant mind with an, for lack of better words, I'll say out-of-the-box thinking. So different, so refreshing, so enlightening. I'm fascinated and I want to know about your life. And I'd like to know that, were you just born brilliant? Did it begin from that very moment?
I was a normal birth, I didn't come in a box. my mother had a normal child.
No, I'm from the movies and I can't help thinking, was it like it is in storybooks, that a venerable sage came to your home and when he looked at your mother he said, there is going to be born a guru. Rejoice! He will lighten his own path and that of others.
You also going like this?
No, but was it like that? Or how was it? How was your childhood?
I don't think they all came to listen to my mother's labor pains.
Now, I'm really fascinated, intrigued that we're all here. But, the way you think, we wait to hear what you have to say. We've all been little children and we've all grown up, but we've grown up and been educated in schools, but I find our way of thinking, our way of being very conditioned, like almost systematized. Whereas, so where did it all begin?
I think you're looking for something unnatural that happened there. One thing that could be considered unnatural was, it seems I was a very delayed birth. My mother went to the hospital 3 times and came back and she gave up. She said, he's not coming. And when it actually happened, it happened at home. My father being a physician, that was not possible. She had to be in the hospital. 3 times she went and 3 times it didn't happen. They did everything possible and she gave up. So it happened at home. So that's the only reasonably unnatural thing. Everything else was natural birth. I didn't come in a box and I refused to be educated. So, the question that you're asking is, do people grow up and blossom? Or are they brought up by somebody? You will see the general expression is, I was brought up in this place, I was brought up in that way. Especially in the West you will see, I was brought up Christian, I was brought up Jewish. These are very common words. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and humiliating that a human being has to be brought up You bring up cattle, okay? You don't bring up a human being. A human being is supposed to blossom by his own nature. That is why he is on the top of the pile, at least on this planet in the evolutionary scale. And most human beings don't seem to understand that, or they're not allowed to understand that by a whole lot of people. And they need to be brought up. Bringing up means somebody is molding you. Molding means it's a predetermined shape. No flower that blossoms is the same way as another one which blossomed yesterday. But a mold means it's always going to be the same. If you make a mold, the idea of making a mold is that we want to have the same form again and again and again. Right now, generally, that seems to be the work, unfortunately, of the current education system, the so-called religions that are operating in the world, and of course the family. They want you to be in a certain mold. They don't want you to blossom like a wildflower, because they're afraid of anything fresh happening among them. They want something that is familiar. They don't want something unfamiliar to be born among them. So, if you have succumbed to that system, then yes, you've been molded into a certain form. If you allow your humanity to blossom, then you will see you don't belong to any mold. This is the beauty of being human, that there is no a particular way to be. If you were a dog, you would be one way. If you were cattle, you would be one way. If you were a sheep, you would be another way. If you were a bird, you would be another way. A grasshopper, another way. But to be human means there is no particular way. What is human is not defined, not described. It is just that. For every other creature on this planet, nature drew two lines. Within that, they have to play their game. For a human being, only the bottom line is drawn. There is no top line. But socially, people are trying to draw a top line for themselves. But nature has not drawn a top line for you. It's a limitless possibility. And this is what is freaking human beings right now, because they can't decide what they need to be. They're trying to be like somebody else. Only bottom line is set, top line has been removed. This is evolution. When we were… no, I am not saying this, Charles Darwin said, when you were a monkey, there were two lines. It's not my statement. When you evolved into a human being, bottom line is still there, but the top line is gone. So, human life is about exploring possibilities that's never been done before. If you want to live within two lines, being some other creature would have been so simple. Human life is not simple, because every other life is settled with survival process. Stomach full, everything settled. With human life, stomach empty, only one problem. Stomach full, how many problems?
But wait, we still didn't quite get to… So, having said all that, I still didn't quite get it. So how was it when you were a child? Were you put into a school to go the systematic way, where you learnt your maths and Hindi and… maths and language and… and did you keep up with it?
Do I look that educated? Don't insult me like that. Actually, when I go and stand in the line, in the immigration lines, and particularly in America, they look at me and say, "Can you speak English?" Because I have that uneducated look, it's not easy. Do you know what it takes to remain uneducated? Education is just 20 years of going somewhere and getting one certificate. To remain uneducated, it's very difficult. Because from the day you are born, your parents, every other adult, the school, the damn thing, everybody is trying to educate you
yes.
about something that's not worked in their life.
To be as brilliant as you are, so shall we go to school or shall we not? Shall we let people…
a little too late for you.
Okay, everybody's enjoying that. Okay. So Sadhguruji,
You should have asked this question when you were 5. Shall I go to school or not? I did. I asked it. They tried to send me to school when I was 3.5. I asked the question halfway to school and I did not go to school. I went somewhere else.
I'd love to know, so what happened then?
This was, they tried to send me to school when I was 3.5 because I was a little too much at home.
That's with a lot of children. You don't know what to do with them, so you say,
so they
put them
sent
into
me to
play
school. So this maid will walk me about 3/4 of a kilometer or a kilometer to the school, and I made a deal with her. You just leave me at the gate. The deal with my mother that she has is, I must hand me over to the teacher and come. I made a deal with her, you must leave me at the gate. No way you're going to step into my school. So she leaves me at the gate. And then I go into very scientific exploration. For about 7 months, I must have been 3.5, a little more than that. I spent 7 months in a huge, like a Grand Canyon-like valley, exploring biology and all kinds of things. I gathered all kinds of creatures from tadpoles to this and that. Actually, it was… later on I realized it was just a big gutter. But at that time I thought it was Grand Canyon, it was so full of life. It kept me engaged for 7 months. Only after 7 months they discovered that I've been on a scientific study.
This is true. You were… Okay, sorry, of course it's true.
You want some nasty aspects of my life, I'm telling you. So let's